Hello everyone, Jule here. It's been a while since the last time I made a game list for Switch, so I decided to make one. And since my interest on tactical RPG is getting stronger, I thought this will be the perfect time to introduce some of the best tactical RPG games for Switch. Alright then, let's get started. Masquerada Songs and Shadows is a great example of matching vision with storytelling and development skills. The world and the story itself were thoroughly engaging and really served to set up what could be a very interesting and long-running series. The gameplay is similar to the older CRPGs. Combat is real-time but possible with tactical decisions. The mechanic feels a little bit too simplistic and bland at times, so hardcore players might feel a little bit disappointed. The Banner Saga is one of the most fascinating trilogies of games out there. It's not without its small problems like the simplistic combat design and predictable AI, but the overall experience is polished and deeply rewarding. The development of characters and the gradual progressions of the story naturally have less emphasis this time around, as this is the end of the saga, but what you do get is multiple endings with fading outcomes. Mutant Year Zero Road to Eden treats the player to a very good and competent blend of exploration and strategy. This tactical RPG will give you a sense of survival in a post-apocalyptic world where you will apply stealth in turn-based fights to fulfill your mission. While this version runs smoothly, the graphical difference between Switch and other platforms can't be understated. The lack of detail has a marked impact on the overall experience. But considering how this sacrifice has preserved the quality of the game within, we will call that a worthy trade-off. Felseal Arbiter's Mark is a terrific option for fans of the tactical RPG genre who are looking for a title with a more retro feel. It provides that feeling of nostalgia while still making its own unique mark. It borrows a good deal of its concepts from Final Fantasy Tactics, but nothing is just brought over as is. While there are conceptual similarities between the titles, this has more than enough mechanical depth to stand on its own. If you are a turn-based strategy or mecha anime fan, then you owe it to yourself to give this a try. The new mission setup is a bit daunting at first, but works well on multiple playthroughs and with the new DLC. The game consists of multiple popular mecha anime series spanning the late 80s to our present time. The combat feels a little bit too easy at times, which is disappointing for hardcore players, but if you're new or just looking for a casual tactical RPG with good story, animation, and gameplay that feels polished, then you won't regret buying this game. Brigandine: The Legend of Runersia is a wonderfully crafted grid-based strategy game with in-depth tactical value. Although the story is average at best, but there's a ton of content here, and in the end, the whole thing feels like a pretty successful celebration of what made the first game a cult classic in the first place. There's also plenty of replay value. Each of the 6 playable factions has their own tale to tell, and if you dig the core gameplay, there's potentially hundreds of hours worth of strategy for you to tear into. It's hard to believe that a sequel to a game from 1998 released so much later, but it was worth the wait. Disgaea 5 Complete is the best version of Disgaea 5 and a great strategy RPG that is well worth your time. Between the DLC and the Switch portability, there's a lot of new life breathed in. On the positive side, it offers an extraordinary volume of content, its own quirky approach to storytelling, and a complex set of systems that complement each other well. For Disgaea fans, this game is worth a purchase, especially as it includes all DLC from the original and plays beautifully on the go. Though there are plenty of other well-made tactical RPG on the Switch today, Othercide does more than enough to differentiate itself from the pack and carve out for itself a unique identity. The striking art style, endlessly punishing gameplay, and an esoteric storytelling ensure that this one will likely only appeal to long-time fans of the genre. A lot of people compare Othercide to XCOM because it's a turn-based strategy that plays on a grid, but that's about where the similarities end. In here, the game is implementing a roguelike mechanic rather than a traditional RPG progression. Overall, if you're looking for a fresh and challenging tactical RPG, then Othercide is definitely a must-have. Battle Brothers has exhibited a clear vision in what it wants to be. A painfully grueling and dark world with a system of commerce that's equally punishing. Newcomers to the franchise will find Battle Brothers very hard to pick up. However, while the learning curve is quite steep, once you get the hang of it, Battle Brothers is actually a very enjoyable experience. Leading your band of mercenaries into battle may not be visually impressive, but the depth of combat and the degree of customization makes this an incredibly addictive game to play on the go. Valkyria Chronicles is considered to be one of the greatest tactical RPGs of the last generation, and Valkyria Chronicles 4 has managed to remind us of exactly why this series was so beloved in the first place. The combat significantly improves upon the original. It could be described as a mixture of a third-person shooter and a strategy game, with equal importance being placed on both types of play. Though it suffers from some minor pacing issues, but it doesn't matter, because all the amazing part far outshines the small drawback.
Do you have enough ammo? I've got the drop on him.
XCOM 2 is a stone-cold classic. The XCOM 2 collection on the Switch may have some technical issues, with frame rate and resolution being the most prevalent, but having the ability to play this amazing title on the go far outweigh any problems you might experience. I mean, it's not like you are playing XCOM for its graphic, right? With the game bundled together with its sizable War of the Chosen expansion, plenty of DLC, and the option of playing while on the toilet, this is probably the best way you can choose to play XCOM 2. Ubisoft managed to turn a complex genre into a Mario-friendly experience. It is by no means perfect, but most of its problems can be ignored because they are relegated to portions of the game you can skip or speed through. The core experience of the game, the battles, are inventive and fun, though it is still a strategy game and a niche experience that appeals to a specific type of player. Its carefree tone, bright colors, and fast pace make it feel inviting. Overall, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle overcame our skepticism and rewarded us with a supremely competent tactical RPG. Triangle Strategy is an absolute gem that far exceeds all expectations. There's an absolute ton of content here, with a huge story featuring multiple paths and multiple endings. The tactical RPG elements play out in a fashion that Final Fantasy Tactics fans will recognize immediately, with the game's turn-based battles taking place on a grid system. On top of that, each member also wielding a suite of upgradable powers and abilities that you will need to make full use of in order to win the battles. We may be some time away from a new Final Fantasy Tactics, but Triangle Strategy is more or less that very experience that players have been looking for.
For the honor of House Wolfort.
Whatever path you choose, Fire Emblem Three Houses is an absolute blast. The expanded gameplay styles, retooled combat, lovable characters, and in-depth character customization hook you fast and are almost guaranteed to keep you engaged for dozens if not hundreds of hours. The three storylines are different enough to beg additional replays, as is the promise of knowing everyone has unseen potential to become the units you want them to be. Fire Emblem Three Houses sets a new standard for what a tactical JRPG can be, and most certainly proves itself to be the next must-have release for the Nintendo Switch.
Should I have held back?
Divinity Original Sin 2 is the perfect definition of freedom in the role-playing genre. This game takes us to a world in which our decisions will influence completely throughout the secondary plots without forgetting to maintain excellent quality both in storytelling, combat, and personalization. If you can't play on PC, this Switch version is a perfectly fine way to play. It has its issues and quirks that make it more of a companion to the PC version, but being able to play wherever you want definitely makes up for it. Divinity Original Sin 2 is easily one of the deepest, richest, and most rewarding game on the Switch. Alright boys, I think that's it for today. I'm pretty sure there are still other good Switch tactical RPG games that I haven't mentioned yet, so how about sharing your best tactical RPG that probably deserve the spot in the comment section below. Don't forget to like the video and make sure to subscribe the channel if you don't want to miss another great list. Thank you for watching and have a good day. Peace!